Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Right now at 5, the Kern County Fair Board meeting was a tense one, not on the agenda, but at the top of minds of many, that state audit that claims misuse of funds. 17th Dayton Wallace was there, and he has what one board member and many in the public had to say.
Devastating new report details the abuse and neglect Kern County children suffered last year at the hands of those who were supposed to care for them. We'll have the latest data coming up.
In Washington, the diplomat who questioned President Trump withholding aid from Ukraine is expected to testify today. We'll have the latest in the impeachment inquiry. This is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2019. Great to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Tabitha Mills and for Alex this morning.
That's right. And, you know, Alex is missing out because World Series baseball. I know the Dodgers aren't in it, but
I think he'll be able to watch it still.
Yeah, I think he's up. I know, but he loves to talk about it on the news.
Yeah,
so.
Well, he will be full of stories tomorrow morning.
I am sure. But somebody else who's always full of stories. All right, Kevin Charette, and he has a look at our forecast this morning.
Well, the weather story today is some very hot temperatures around the state of California, and we're also warming up a little bit. Yesterday, our high was 79 degrees, slightly above that normal of 77, and right now we sit at 55. A light wind out of the northeast at 3 right now as we take a look at the day, starting out in the 50s, 77 at noon, and by 3 o'clock we'll be right near 84 in the valley, and then 4 to Hatchby. 41 degrees right now. You have an easterly wind at 5 under the clear skies. We will see a little bit of a breeze pick up throughout the afternoon, as you can see here on our wind forecast model, and temperatures are also going to be a little bit warmer. Starting out in the upper 30s, though, you'll need a jacket. 74 at noon, and by 3 o'clock that northwest wind at 14, and we'll be sitting right near 76. We'll talk much more about your weather in just a little bit, but first, let's get a check of your morning commute.
All right, thanks so much, Kev. And taking a look outside this morning, Highway 99 near 7th Standard. Things are moving smoothly there. There's only one issue that's listed on the CHP page right now, and that is on Highway 178 at Walker Pass. That is a crash, did not cause any injuries, but just a heads up if you are in that area of Highway 178 at Walker Pass. And we'll have another check of your commute coming up in about 15 minutes. We begin this morning with a heated meeting as members of the board in charge of the Kern County Fair met for the first time since our story broke last month on a state audit that claimed fair officials misused hundreds of thousands of your taxpayer dollars. 17's Aton Wallace was there.
The meeting indeed was tense, and it came to an abrupt end with many members of the public frustrated.
You are demonstrating for all of us that you don't care. You don't care. It's disgraceful.
These were just some of the tense moments at Monday evening's Kern County Fair Board meeting, the first meeting this governor-appointed body has held since last month's Kern County Fair and since KGET's investigation last month, making light of this state audit which alleges Kern County Fair officials misused and mismanaged more than $300,000 of your tax dollars. The meeting agenda did not include the state audit, but for members of the public who showed up, the audit was on top of their minds.
I'm here because it seems like we've run into some problems having to do with the fair.
We're talking about taxpayer dollars here, and what I read, if it's true, is outrageous, unacceptable, and anybody responsible must resign immediately.
Since this was during the public comment portion of the meeting, board members were not required to directly respond.
Aton Wallace with KGET and Telemundo.
And then it was my turn to press the fair officials with questions to which we have tried to get answers for the last month.
Does the public deserve to know what happened and what led up to the misuse of more than $300,000 of taxpayer funds?
This is public comment, I'm sorry.
But one board member addressed some of the allegations.
We don't get taxpayer money. There's grants that are provided for development projects, but we're operated like a business. Our revenue, the tickets from sales, the tickets from parking, we don't receive or abuse any taxpayer money, and because it's the money that we generate here at the fair.
But that would be all we heard on that matter from any board member. Towards the end of the meeting, things got heated when board chairwoman Balaji Rodriguez sought to adjourn while a few wanted to address individual agenda items.
But you have given us exactly rude what
546.
People have been complaining about. You are demonstrating for all of us that you don't care. The chair cut everybody off. I'm very outraged.
Those in attendance, like Liz Kehoe, expressed their frustration following the meeting.
These people are demonstrated to my satisfaction that there is a cover-up going on here beyond imagination.
It seemed like they didn't want to talk about any agenda that the public wanted to ask. They wanted to only go off of their paperwork and say what they wanted to say and didn't give any answers.
Anything that was done that is not correct and lawful and with integrity and honesty has to be corrected, the money replaced, and whoever's responsible has to be terminated or resign effective as soon as possible, if not immediately.
We tried to get comment from FAIR CEO Mike Alcott after the meeting, but he and some of the other board members walked out of the room pretty fast. Meantime, the DA's investigation into Kern County Fair's alleged misuse of funds remains ongoing. In studio, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
17 Court Watch now. One of the two men accused in the murder of 5-year-old Kaysen Guyton pleaded not guilty yesterday. Police arrested Jeremy King on Friday after a month-long search. King, along with Jonathan Knight, are documented members of the West Side Crips criminal street gang. Kaysen Guyton was shot in early 2017. His mother's boyfriend was driving him and his brother home from the movies when the gunmen opened fire on the car. The others survived. Kaysen Guyton did not. King and Knight were not indicted until this past September after Knight was arrested in a separate case. Both men are scheduled to appear in court on Wednesday.
The McFarland teacher accused of inappropriate sexual behavior with a student has been charged. Alvia Gonzalez was charged with 2 felony counts yesterday. These include unlawful sexual intercourse and contact with a minor with intent to commit a sexual offense. McFarland police arrested Gonzalez on October 12th. This came after the McFarland Unified School District notified police that a student showed the McFarland High principal inappropriate content he said Gonzalez had sent him on his cell phone. Gonzalez is out of bail and on paid administrative leave. There is no court date set yet for her case.
Kern County supervisors will discuss the public safety power shutoffs after attending an emergency meeting on Friday. At today's meeting, supervisors will hear from a report from last week's meeting with the CPUC and PG&E. They'll also take action to join a joint local government group to be part of the rulemaking process for future public safety power shutoffs. Thousands in Kern County were thrown into the dark when PG&E and Southern California Edison cut power just over a week ago in the face of high fire danger. Yesterday, PG&E announced 15 Northern California and Bay Area counties are once again under consideration for a shutoff over the next 48 hours due to a fire weather watch. So far, Kern County is not affected. Southern California Edison says a PSPS is not under consideration for the next 48 hours.
The Kern County Network for Children released its child abuse report. It found that nearly 15,000 children in Kern County were abused or neglected last year. The agency says 3,000 of these were confirmed cases of neglect. That's about 6% of children in Kern County. This averages out to about 8 children being abused every day. There were also 6 child deaths connected to abuse last year. Today, Kern County Network for Children Executive Director Tom Corson will present the report to supervisors at this morning's meeting. If you'd like to know more, the full report is on our website, kget.com.
There's been another shakeup at the California City Police Department. Less than 2 weeks after former Chief Eric Hurtado resigned, 17 News has learned interim Chief Timothy O'Quinn is no longer interim chief. Shannon Hayes takes over as the second interim chief since Hurtado stepped down. O'Quinn was helping the department with its 8 cold cases that were featured on NBC's Dateline in a special online episode.
Coming up a little later, a local coffee shop is shut down.
Still ahead, what health officials saw that had them worried.
Yeah, we'll take a look at your forecast on this Tuesday. That's straight ahead.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News with Maddie Jansen, Alex Fisher, and Kevin Charette with your Pinpoint Doppler forecast. This is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 2019 World Series starts tonight. It's the American League Championship. Houston Astros against the National League champion at Washington Nationals.
That's right. Catching in the bullpen for the Nationals is Bakersfield product Octavio Martinez, who hopes no matter who you root for, you might pull for a Bakersfield boy this World Series. Octavio Martinez is the bullpen catcher for the Washington Nationals. As you can imagine, it's been a busy postseason for the Bakersfield native, so I chatted with him on the phone ahead of tonight's World Series Game 1.
It's amazing to enjoy and enjoy the ride with them, and hopefully make all these days memorable, because it just doesn't happen all the time.
A graduate of Highland High School, playing for the Scots and Bakersfield College before being selected in the 10th round of the 1999 Major League Baseball draft by the Baltimore Orioles. Martinez played professionally for 14 years before landing in Washington.
This is my 7th year working with the team. This is going to be our 4th playoff appearance since I joined the team, and the other 3 didn't finish the way we wanted to. We're in the moment, loving it, enjoying it, and hoping it continues.
Martinez also translates for the Nats' Spanish-speaking players. And although he knows Bakersfield is a Dodgers town, after all, he grew up a fan of the boys in blue. He hopes you'll root for Washington and a Bakersfield boy this World Series.
I know Bakersfield is a big Dodger town, so sorry to all the Dodger fans out there that we had to play such an exciting series against you guys, and we're able to pull it off. But hopefully now that they're out of the picture and we're still in it, you guys root for us and send us some good vibes our way, because we're going to need them. That Houston team is very good, and I hope we give you guys a real good World Series.
Kobe Lewis, another Bakersfield native with big league experience and a World Series ring, is a friend of Octavio Martinez and reached out telling him to savor the moment. Martinez is one of 5 sons from Bakersfield, all of which played baseball or are still playing. And tomorrow on 17 News at Sunrise, I'll introduce you to some of his brothers, or as I like to call them in general, Bakersfield's baseball family.
So cool.
Yeah,
what a neat experience.
Good luck to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Macy's is saying goodbye to fur. The Cincinnati-based retailer announced it will stop selling fur by the end of the fiscal year 2020. In addition to not selling fur at its stores, the company will stop selling fur at Bloomingdale's and its discount outlets. Fur vaults and salons will also be closed. Macy's CEO Jeff Jeanette says the decision comes after regular meetings with the Humane Society of the United States and other non-governmental groups over the past 2 years. Macy's, whose store label brands are already fur-free, says the risk of new fabric technology like faux fur will make the transition even easier. Fiscal year 2020 ends early 2021.
CVS is testing drone deliveries for medications. To do that, the pharmacy chain is partnering with UPS. UPS recently received approval from the Federal Aviation Administration to make limited drone deliveries. The drones will be automated, flying on pre-planned routes in as quickly as 5 to 10 minutes. They will carry packages up to 5 pounds and leave them in the front or backyard. A person will supervise and take over flight if needed for safety's sake. CVS and UPS haven't said when or where deliveries will begin. This comes after a similar announcement from Walgreens, which recently launched a small drone delivery service in Christiansburg, Virginia.
A coffee stand in downtown Bakersfield has been shut down by the county health department. The filling station at 1830 24th Street. In a report, the county says the filling station continued to serve with an active vermin infestation, noting an abundance of live roaches along an espresso drain line under a drink station. These are pictures provided by the health department. Inspectors also noted debris on counters and floors of the facility and ordered management to perform a deep cleaning inside. The shop will remain closed until Kern County Public Health approves its reopening.
A fabric store is closing after 40 years in Bakersfield. The manager of Beverly's confirmed with 17 News the store is shutting down. The fabric chain opened in Bakersfield in 1979. The manager says the closure is a business decision and employees were already told about it. We do not know when their last day will be. Beverly's is located in the 3000 block of F Street in central Bakersfield.
I was there yesterday and I was so bummed to see that. I love that store. I've been going there with my mom since I was little.
Me too. I used to take arts and crafts, like summer
classes
camps
there.
Yeah, I'm very sad. A little nostalgic right now.